Sharon with Southern Bella Home. Thank you for coming by to see me today. It's just kind of a relaxing Sunday here today, and we've already been to church and been to lunch and done other things, and now this evening we're planning on having us a nice juicy ribeye on the big green egg. My husband cooks the best steak I've ever eaten. I can't even go out to dinner and have a nice steak because Todd has ruined it. He makes the best ones here at home. But I told him that while he had that big green egg hot, I wanted to go ahead and smoke and roast our tomatoes for a batch of our favorite, absolutely tip-top favorite salsa, and that is the fire roasted salsa that we make by smoking the tomatoes on the big green egg. So I want to show y'all how we go about doing that so that you will know how to make the best salsa in the world. Todd is putting the tomatoes on the big green egg, and we have done some in a pan, and they just started releasing a lot of their juices, which is going to be fine because when I cook the salsa, it releases the juices anyway. But now we're putting some directly on the grate of the green egg, and we're going to get a really good char on these tomatoes to make our fire roasted salsa. And that's what they look like. And y'all, it is so good. Salsa, it bumps it up a notch. Or how many notches?
A couple.
A couple notches. No. It bumps it up a lot. Trust me, if you have a big green egg or a smoker, smoke your tomatoes to make your salsa. It is so good. You could probably smoke your peppers and smoke your onions too. I mean, that'd probably be awesome. What you think, babe?
I'm getting smoked myself.
It's a smoky job, but somebody's got to do it.
It's true.
All right, in this pan, what we did was we put whole tomatoes in the pan on the big green egg. That way, they busted open. You can see all the juice that just got extracted, and you can see how there's little bits and pieces of the skin that have char on them. But I will chop these up, and I will take out the end pieces, and I will take out most of the skin. Now, you can see how the juice has kind of a brown color to it, and that is that wood smoke. It has permeated that juice, and it is going to make this salsa incredible, y'all. The flavor profile in this salsa is just so different. It is so delicious. And when you see that brown color in the juice, you know that the smoke has permeated that juice. So what will happen next in this pan is that I will remove the skin and the end pieces. The only little bits of skin I will leave, like I said, are the ones that have nice black char on them. And then I'll make some of the chunks smaller, but we do like chunky salsa, so that's not an issue. And then we'll add more of those fire roasted tomatoes that Todd is working on the grill. We'll put it all together in a big pot. Looking good. How long do you think it takes, Todd, to get that little char on them?
6 minutes.
6 minutes.
You flip them over. I'm running at about 400 degrees.
Okay.
So about 6 minutes, 3 on 3 maybe. Flip them.
3 minutes, then flip them over.
Yeah.
Another 3 minutes on 400.
Yeah. Now these are your Brad's Atomic Grape?
Brad's Atomic Grape, some Sweetie tomatoes, and some of the bigger ones were, I think, Rutgers. All right, Todd, show me what you took off the grill.
Here we are so far.
See that amazing char? Y'all, that tastes so good, and it adds so much to the flavor of the salsa.
All right, so that's the temperature that we have the peppers on, and I went into the kitchen and I grabbed some peppers. We have 2 Cubanelle peppers and 3 jalapenos, and we're going to smoke those. So how long are you going to leave those on there?
Well, we're going to have to wait and see.
We'll just have to see how long, because I don't think we smoked the peppers the last time we did this. Y'all just have to overlook us. It is Sunday afternoon. We have been chilling, and we just had an awesome steak that Todd cooked us out here on the green egg. And so we had planned to throw these tomatoes on. What we try to do is not waste that smoke, because that charcoal is not cheap. We've been talking about maybe learning how to make our own charcoal, but when the steak is done cooking, sometimes we try to think of other things to throw on that grill.
I think it's important to mention it's all lump charcoal. It's all natural. It's not your Kingsford edge.
Right. It's all natural
lump charcoal.
Lump charcoal.
So it's real wood.
So anyway, that's a good tip for you. After you have cooked your meal or whatever it is that you're cooking on your green egg, don't waste that smoke. Throw some tomatoes, some onions, something for another meal on there and use that good smoke, right?
Right. Now, I would say if you normally cook with just like briquette, yeah, you're missing the good stuff. You want to get lump charcoal. And I know there's some other brands besides the Big Green Egg. I see them at Walmart and Home Depot and Lowe's. So there's all sorts of lump charcoal, but that makes a huge difference in the grilling. And the smoke,
and we
right?
love and the green egg makes a huge difference in the taste of the food too. Now I know there's lots of other brands, but we've only ever had the green egg, and
so it's the best for us.
We love it. I want to start out by saying too that I apologize in advance for the fact that I do not have a recipe that I follow for salsa. But what I do have, y'all, is a method. And sometimes I think that methods in the kitchen are more important than a recipe, because sometimes you may have 10 cups of tomatoes coming out of the garden, and other times you may have 20 cups. And with this method, you can make salsa with any quantity that you have at your disposal. The components are always the same. They are tomatoes, peppers, onions, garlic, salt, pepper, cumin, usually lemon juice and vinegar. And if you don't have onions, you can substitute onion powder, and if you don't have garlic, you can substitute garlic powder. And if you know how you like your salsa to taste, you can make it taste that way. Now, the one thing I will say is sometimes I have sugar in my salsa and sometimes I don't. And the thing that's based on is how sweet the onions are that I'm putting in. Now, here in Georgia, we have good old Vidalia onions. And sometimes I don't put any sugar at all in this salsa if I'm using Vidalia onions, because they sweeten up that salsa a lot over time. So my recommendation to you is get in that kitchen and practice with this. You know, make a mixture and taste constantly as you're going along, realizing that some of the flavors will concentrate over time. The sweetness and the heat can get a little bit stronger, the salt also. So just season as you go, get it to where you like it, and let that be your salsa. You don't have to have a recipe of how many teaspoons, how many tablespoons, all that. Just follow a basic method and make it taste like you like.
Well, here's this amazing salsa in the pot. You can see the little flecks of black. One thing I wanted to mention too is that I'm not fussy about what kind of peppers I use. I try to keep jalapenos on hand. Sometimes I have banana peppers, cubanelle peppers, sometimes bell peppers. I use whatever combination of peppers I have. I try to at least have one jalapeno, but I use what I have. And here it is after it's had its water bath canning process. The flecks of black make this easy to identify as our fire roasted salsa. It's so beautiful, and my friends and family love to receive this as gifts. I always give a few away, but I try to hang on to most of it because we love it. I really think you should try it, my friends.
Now it's time to chill. I'm tired, y'all. The salsa is done. I've been doing a lot of canning the last few days, but it's so worth it. And especially that fire roasted salsa, I really hope that you all will give it a try. Those of you who have a Big Green Egg or one of those other big smokers, or you could probably do this on a charcoal grill. Either way, just get that char and that smoke on those tomatoes. It just permeates the flesh of those tomatoes. Try this method. I'd love to hear about it. I hope that it helps you to think about it as a method and not a recipe. That should free you up to make whatever quantity you need to. I'll be back with more videos coming up soon, guys. Anything having to do with home and homestead. And even though we're in the midst of this busy canning season and gardening season, I want y'all to remember, keep home sweet, Keep it inspiring. Keep it inviting so your family really wants to be there, okay? We'll talk to y'all in the next video. Talk to you later, friends. Bye.